So I'm going to show you some really cool experiments that you can do with water. Water is the weirdest chemical on Earth. There's a great YouTube about it, and I'll drop it down below. So I'm going to show you about half a dozen experiments to deal with water. The first one that we did this week was suspension. So you can just take a penny, and I asked my kids, how many drops of water do you think we can fit on top of a penny? They probably have all done this before, but it's still usually pretty neat. So if you have a steady hand, you can sit there and count. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this in the video, but basically get a bubble on the top like that. And this is what allows bugs to be able to skitter across water. You can also sometimes float a paper clip on the surface. And what happens is water has the desire to attract to other molecules of water, and it creates this kind of like film on the surface, and so that's suspension. The next neat thing about water is capillary action. So capillary action is what allows plants to be able to soak water up the stems, and it also allows your brain to take water up to it. So you can take a string and hold it or tie it or tape it to a cup like this. You want to do it on the back side of your cup. And so you want to do your string dry the first time. Mine's already wet because I've already done this once today. And when you pour it, it will, it goes down because of gravity. But once you get your string wet, then it will follow the other water molecules, and you can actually pour water kind of sideways. So you can probably catch that in the video now. So that is capillary action. You can also do this a lot of times. They'll do it in preschool with like coffee filters. So you take 2 cups and you take your coffee filter in between them, and you put like one color in one cup and then another color in the other cup. And you might even see it on Pinterest where they line up all the cups and you just like make a rainbow. But that water is traveling up. And you can also do this with celery sticks, where you put a celery stick in there and get it to shoot the water up its stem. So that's capillary action. Another neat thing about water is that it comes in 3 states. Scientists say that shouldn't happen on Earth. And the fact that water floats, we've all seen that before. But what I pointed out this week that my kids didn't know was that when water floats, then it allows life to continue underneath. So like during the Ice Age, not everything died. It was still able to live underneath. Or during the winter, creatures can hibernate, or they can just hang out down there. And so the fact that water will float. And the reason why this happens is because of the chemical composition. So you have your H molecule at the top with 2 O's hanging off of it, and the water wants to connect with other water, so it forms these crystal shapes. So most chemicals, when it condenses into a solid, they'll shrink together. But water, it works the opposite way. And so this is a lot of times, if you're using water in a regular science experiment, you have to know the properties of water. Otherwise, your experiment's not going to turn out right. So that crystal shape is what allows water to expand, hence why it floats on top of water when it's frozen. Then you can also do solvency. So solvency happens because of the different 2 chemicals. So the O has a negative polarity and the H has a positive polarity. And so this allows water to be able to mix with a lot of different substances. If it didn't have that, then you wouldn't be able to mix things in. So you can have your kids take like baking soda and ask them, how many tablespoons of baking soda do you think we can stir into our water? And so have them, count tablespoon after tablespoon, pouring that in. We used sugar. That was neat because then you could see it becoming clear again. And you could actually make them do this to where it's completely saturated. And then you can also distill water. My kids thought that was a neat thing because they're really into survival right now. So to distill water, you're going to take a container and put a jar that will fit down inside of it like that. And then you're going to pour dirty water around it. So the first time we did this, we did it with salt water. And then this week we did it with sugar water. I would recommend the salt water. The sugar water, it was not very tasty today. So you're gonna pour it around your cup like that, and then you're going to cover this with saran wrap. So you can tape the sides, but you want the saran wrap to be a little bit saggy. So take this outside, and then you want to put a small rock over your cup. So that way, the heat from outside will cause the water to evaporate, and then it will go up onto your saran wrap, and it condescends, and it will collect down at the bottom where that weight is hanging down, and then it will precipitate into your cup. So you're seeing all three of those actions in this experiment. And so this way you can distill dirty water into becoming clean. Now, if you bring it in and you drink it right away, it's going to be very warm, but it will still taste very, very clean. And then the last thing that you can do with water is you can try freezing it at different temperatures. So we didn't have luck with this one because we forgot about it, and so we couldn't tell what happened. But you should be able to take cool water, and we actually did cool water, regular water, and then a row of boiling water, and put it in the freezer, and it should happen that the boiling water will freeze first. But I can't for sure say that one because we didn't have any luck with that. So there are a bunch of things that you can do with water.